Cool. So, Leoxlorcy, you're 19, based in California currently. Okay, soon to be based in Miami. It's pretty cool. So yeah, I mean, just start off, just give a background about yourself. Obviously you run multiple different businesses. You work with me.
Anyways, the point is, all that type of stuff, especially experiencing like the change, like I got the best of both worlds as a man who wants to be the most successful person in the fucking world, the best version of himself. Maybe if I was a female, it would be different. But in terms of my role, like as I matured, the situation getting worse until the point where it's like, yo, what that tells me is like, yo, I gotta fucking boss up. If anybody's gonna do this, it's gonna be me.
Yeah.
I gotta be the man of the house. I gotta do this. I gotta and it gives you gives me that fire, that drive.
So, I mean, nowadays, this world, everywhere you go, you see distraction after distraction, right? We're in the attention economy, okay? And so how do you personally discipline yourself even while we're in this, extremely, extremely distracted society?
Okay, so that was one of the questions I got from my audience on Instagram before doing this podcast. So, and I'm happy it was asked because sometimes I forget about that world because I myself don't see really the distractions anymore because I take it away from myself. And I forgot that that's the world that I was stuck in for all the years, which I knew I wanted to change, but I was stuck in the distractions. And although I did start very young, 17, a lot of the distractions were, I cared so much about, I would say pussy, right? I cared so much about going out and having fun. I cared so much about, doing, partying and doing all this stuff, right? And I cared just so much about like playing video games and just dopamine shit, scrolling on my phone, all this shit. All this stuff which most people, even if they're fucking 35, are stuck on, right? So how did I get out of this is I basically made the decision to dopamine detox. So me personally, and I've said this before, is you can't, if you're going to do it, you might as well go 100% in because now at 19, being 2 years in, I'm competing with 40-year-olds that have been moving at 50%. Now I'm going to get a promotion in my job. Now I'm going to do a little bit better. I'm already at their level because I went 110% in and all they did was basically just slowly, I'm just going to make money and then try a bit harder every year. So if you're going to do it, you got to go in fully. And especially if you want to be an entrepreneur. And basically, yeah, so I dopamine detox. I cut out all my bad habits and replaced them with new ones and then grew from there. I would say the best way you can do that from yourself, is to make that fucking decision. Go ahead, do that. Do the dopamine detox, cut out the bad habits. If you want to figure out how dopamine works, you can, I'm not, the scientist which is going to explain it for you. All I'm going to say is that not only does dopamine detoxing cuts out the stuff which is bad for you, but it makes the hard stuff easy to do. So it's not like you're going to be in a position where, fuck, I got to do all this productive shit now. No, it feels good to do.
The successful way to do a dopamine detox is when you are getting dopamine out of doing things that before you would consider hard work. Yeah, like hard work or just things that you wouldn't want to do. You cut out all of the sources of distractions that are literally stealing your attention away from what's actually important.
Okay, well, to add on to his point, I mean, he literally just explained how you get the same feeling that you do from right now, doing all these bad habits and all these pleasure feelings. That doesn't mean now you have a nice life with no pleasure. That just means they're not short-term pleasures and empty pleasures. That means that they're in more fulfilling things. So you get those pleasures from signing a deal. You get those pleasures from improving yourself, from getting in the gym, from liking the way you look, from, all these different things. You get that same dopamine and it basically replaces it. But the only difference is it's not in a selfish way. So if you're getting dopamine from making money, if you're getting dopamine from being able to take care of the people around you, being able to provide value into the fucking marketplace, into the world, into whatever it is you want to do, you're not just a consumer. You're not just getting dopamine from fucking consuming shit and that you're like a net negative to society, bro. And it has to be said. Most people who are NPCs, I mean, they're actually the only people that they're positive to are big corporations that are profiting off of them being an NPC. Yeah. How crazy is that? So besides that, they're fucking selfish. Yeah. So improving yourself is not selfish at all. Improving yourself is not having a big ego and stuff like that, that's something which is a French side of my family, which is like I've always been apparently had such a big ego because I want to be, the best version of myself and all this type of shit. And that's, those are all limiting beliefs, which, if you guys have in your family and stuff, and if you guys have with your friends, like, oh, that's cringe. Like, well, dude, you're listening to the wrong people. Like, the other day I was on a call, with someone I was taking in for my mentorship. It was actually yesterday. And he was basically, when he kept on talking about, when I was asking the questions of like, what do you really want? And all this type of stuff, he was saying like, this is cringe, but this is what I want. This is cringe, but this is what I want. And I was like, bro, listen, do you realize how fucking crazy that is? This is what you really want? This is what would make your life perfect, and it's cringe? Who the fuck made you think that? Who made you think that? Bro, those are the wrong people. That just let me know that you hang around the wrong people. And that's totally fine. I'm going to switch that for you, right? And it's crazy. That's what most people are living in. And that's how I was thinking that way before too.
The only reason I think it's cringe is because it's going...
Oh, it's because it's going against their norm. Exactly. And the norm is where they don't want to be.
Yeah. Wow.
So if you're listening to this, that you're probably cracking a little smile because you're like, yeah, like, exactly. So I'm just letting you know that if you think that, you're going to get out of it and you're going to look at it from the other side and just see how fucking stupid it is. So, and I wish that for you.
So I know that you previously were saying, you were into, hanging out with your friends, going to parties, getting girls, most normal things that normal teenage guys do, right? And so once you started getting super focused on your business and once you started taking business super seriously, just, real quick, how did you kind of, continue to have healthy relationships in your life, whether that's with girls or just with your family or whatnot?
In my first 6 months, I did not have any of that. Mm-hmm. And I was like on that like lone wolf shit, and I was just going so hard, like just like so hard where it's not even necessary to go hard. And right now I would say that's like, it doesn't have a have a good ROI if I went that hard because I wasn't really talking to any people and all this type of stuff. Yeah. But I'm actually, happy that I did that because that just like made me stronger. Like that grinding of my brain was literally the shifting of my paradigm. It was literally the shifting of moving on to this level and to this next level. And so now I'm just scaling, my path moving, right? So basically, in the beginning, I didn't really, I still obviously was living, full time with my family and all this stuff. So, I'd still talk with them and I'd have a good relationship with them, but I cut off it's going to be funny that I'm saying this, because whoever might be watching, but like I was like, I would say kind of dating, or like I was with like multiple girls at the same time. So nice. And I cut them all off.
Yes, bro.
So I cut them all off, and basically, I wouldn't say cut them off, but I just stopped engaging, right? And that took a lot of discipline and all that stuff. And that doesn't mean when people say like, oh, I'm not hanging with girls, like they might be thinking, oh wait, so I'll be just like, doing it with myself. And that means it's like, nope, that's part of it. You got to have the discipline that way. That doesn't mean you just do it with yourself. That like, no.
You cut it all out.
That's part, exactly. You cut it all out, right? So I'm not going to get into the details of that, of like what's like the natural thing and all that stuff. But basically like right now, as of now, I'd say how am I maintaining it and how I believe the best way to do it is bro, I'm in such a good place with that. And in terms of family, like I'm literally right now as we speak, like becoming like becoming the man of the house, exactly. And I'm making the most money in my, like, out of everybody in my family right now. Most importantly, being like like I said, financials, honestly, who gives a fuck about that? All the other things, being able to be a good role model, being able to help like your family, being able to like go ahead and like over this summer when I was with my family, like, you know, and it was my grandpa's birthday, I like, who knows if it's his last birthday or not, whatever. So like, who's gonna go ahead and be like, let's all make a speech? That's me. And I made everybody make a speech, and I'm actually gonna open up to this right now. Like there was, I have a family member who was at that dinner who literally passed away a couple weeks ago, and then that was the last time she was like with her family, and she was able to confess like, you know, a bunch of things that made everybody like I like tear-eyed and stuff like that. So like things like that has nothing to do with financials. Like who's gonna be the leader? And you have to be that to everybody in your family and everybody around you. In terms of friends, what I would recommend is that like in the beginning, like I would not recommend that as soon as you start doing self-improvement, okay, I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna network and do all these connections. You have to build yourself first. And if you're already in that position, whenever you feel the time is right where you can give value to and be around successful people and they want to have you around, then go ahead and go in on networking. It's going to increase everything, and it's going to make you better and all this type of stuff. So I'm at a good place with that and balancing out.
Yeah. Where do you take or not where, but well, I guess you can say where. Who and where do you take inspiration from for kind of your style? And so, you know, most guys, you see them wearing their pajama pants around. You see them wearing sweatpants, the sweatshirts all day long, right? Like, where did you take motivation from, or more inspiration from, to, you know, kind of curate your personal style?
Okay, I'm gonna go 2 parts into this. One, I'm gonna connect this into the last one, and then number 2, I'm gonna specifically answer that last question. So, like, yeah, I mean, that goes into you know, wanting to network and be the best version of yourself in all these other areas, not just financially, not just business wise, is, you know, also looking the best possible and being the best health and being health. And that's like, you know, part of going to the gym and all that, but also understanding how to dress, understanding how to present yourself, which is going to have a really great ROI in terms of networking when you're ready and all this type of shit. And it's funny because you see it in the movies whenever like someone's like, there's something just happened to this character. Like, you know, I like to watch movies a lot with like successful male lead characters. I don't like to like, I'm very like picky with the movies I watch, like how it's going to benefit.
What's your favorite movie?
I'm not getting into that, but I have a lot. But basically, depends what mood I'm in. But basically, you know, if it's something related to, let's say, like success, like as soon as they're starting to make money, something's gonna happen, like, or they're changing themselves. All of a sudden, the guy pulls up in his suit. All of a sudden, he's like feeling confident. And basically, what that is it's changing identity. So if you can dress as the person that you will be in a year that you want to be, you are stepping into their shoes. You're stepping into their shoes. So that's a bar. So literally, and this applies to everything else. So literally, I want you to literally right now or after this podcast think, and don't not do this. You can be in 10 times better position than me, and still you should do this. Think exactly where you want to be in a year. Exactly where you want to be. Not just like, I'm making this much amount. That's all what everybody cares about. But what type of relationship do you have with the people around you? How do you look like? How do you feel like? What is your daily activities? All these type of shit, all this type of stuff. And try to do the closest to that right now. Like, oh shit, he's wearing this. Like, let me like this. Let me communicate like this. Oh, he's like walking around with swag. Oh, he's like, you know, he's a good networker. Oh, he knows how to like sell people. He knows how to network. He has a firm handshake, all this type of shit. Let me just do that fucking tomorrow, bro. Like, you don't have to wait until that person. That person. Exactly. Before and then you're going to be that person way closer than you think. Exactly. Every time I've done that, I've looked back and I was like, hold up. Holy shit, this is crazy. So I would say that answers your question. And I mean, that's like a perfect segue. But in terms of who I've been influenced by in terms of my style. So I would say, like, at the core, I've been heavily influenced by just like, you know, a lot more in the artistic space. Like, music has always been huge for me. I literally have an artist which I manage, in which, like, I would say I'm like an independent label to him. So that means I'm paying for things and all that. So that's how much that's how much music I love music. And basically, in rap, in hip hop, I was heavily influenced by that type of style. Some of my favorite artists like Playboi Carti was like, dude, I don't listen to him as much anymore because that's like that music is not my vibe right now in the moment, which is fine. But basically, like he's like, I'm heavily influenced by his style where I used to be, right? But basically, Kanye is my fucking goat. Michael Jackson, I gotta tell you about like the thing about Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson, I'm like pretty close to something going on with that. And dude, I have so much shit I can't even talk about. That's how my life, bro, is so crazy. Like things like when I'll tell you, it'll be like, dude, wouldn't that be cool if you talked about it on a podcast? That'd be a killer podcast. One of those moments, yeah. But I can't. I literally have an NDA for that. Anyways, so in the art world, stuff like that, which is interesting because a lot of business people just dress like not very related to that, but aesthetics have always been so important to me. And then as I became a business person, I'm not going to dress like Kanye. Exactly. I'm not going to dress as Kanye if I'm an entrepreneur. But also that still has its own hint of inspiration. What I take the inspiration from that is basically the aesthetics. Yeah. The aesthetics, and it's not about, okay, this is what's in the store. It's about how do I want to look, right? I'm a character. Let me play the character. That's what I got from movies and music artists. And then honestly, like I took a little bit of pieces from multiple different places in terms of just like entrepreneurs I want to be like, people who are my mentors, people who I've seen online, take a little bit of their styles. And then, movie characters, all that type of stuff. And I just love to play characters. Like one more point I'm gonna add about that is literally like, so the last show I watched, because I don't really watch shows anymore, but I managed to sneak in this show. This is still like, I was still in like, the full focus mode, like business and stuff around then. But basically, so I started watching Peaky Blinders and stuff like that. Nice. And I basically, so I went into this trip in Europe, 11 countries in 45 days. And basically, this is like when, my businesses were popping off and everything. And it was just like, let me just be free, right? But I went to Europe because I wanted to travel all these countries. And it was like November, December. It was this kind of time, and it's super windy, bro. Dude, I got the trench coat on. Dude, I'll show you some pictures, bro. I was looking like Thomas Shelby. Yeah. That doesn't mean I was dressing like that every day, but some days I'm like, let me just play this character. Yeah. Let me just feel this way. If you look at life that way, then you cannot ask for a better life because you are your own character and you can play it like a video game. All the people, the mom that you have, the history you've been through, the things around you, your current environment, all that is part of your movie. It's all part of your TV show, of your story. So take it like that, embrace it, and you just got to think, I could not be anyone else except myself. Yeah.
Cool. So I mean, dude, this has been a great time. I've enjoyed it. Love speaking with you, getting to actually know you a lot better, which is pretty cool. But, for the viewers, is there anything that you kind of want to sum up with? Is there any type of advice that you want to give to like maybe someone who was in your shoes, a couple of years ago, okay, right? Or someone who's a little bit younger who's trying to get like you when they're 19, okay? So is there anything you would want to say to them?
Okay, that's actually a really good question. So this can be for someone younger or just like, if you're in the position I was in 2 years ago, you might be my age right now, right? It's all about what you can do in a matter of like a short-term period of time. And basically, you got to make the decision. I always stress this. It's not just about let me just try, because I've been in the trying period for a long time before that. And most people are in the trying period their whole life. It's like, no, I'm going to fucking do it. And it has to be like a day and night. It's got to be a completely different day. Today's a new day. And that's part of what I actually teach. And when I teach self-improvement and I go through dopamine detoxes, I'm literally flipping someone's life around. And I'd like to say like, yo, if I make you 10%, 20% better as a person, how much do you think that equates to throughout your life? Well, that's a lot. That's very valuable. What I'm good at, what I'm helping you with. But to be honest, for some people, it's more like a 200% change. I did a 200% change for myself because I was going this way and I fucking shifted it that way. So I would say that's what it would be. And then there's all these little things in between. There's thinking of who you want to be, doing their actions. Then after there's, blah, 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 and all these different types of things. And then now basically, and I wanted to say this earlier, which is basically, I don't see business like anymore as like about money is just a scoreboard. We touched on this earlier. Yeah. It's a game. I talked about life as a game, everything. You gotta just see everything as a game, right? Every single bucket you can fill up in your life. And business being one of them. I do want to, like I said, be the best fucking person in the world, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to be the richest person in the world or the best entrepreneur in the world. So the reason I'm saying this is because you actually touched on this, like in your question, in your interview, in the interview for you, and basically you were saying how you're just trying to better yourself and be the most successful, and money is a outcome of that. That is one of my main philosophies, bro. Literally, if you just see it as, and you tap into abundance this way, if you just see it as, I'm going to be the best fucking version of myself, and money is a byproduct of it. It's not just, I'm going to chase the money, because not only you're going to not get the money, you're going to be fucked up in all these other places. And the other one gets both. So just see, I want you to leave this thinking of everything as a game, being the best version of yourself, and whatever you really want, just to be an outcome of that. If what you really want is to have a hot girlfriend, then don't just chase the hot girlfriend. Like I said, be the best version of yourself, get in shape, make money, fucking, be healthy, learn social skills, do all these things, learn how to dress. We talked about that. And guess what's going to be a byproduct of that? Exactly. So I feel like that's a really good way to end this off. Yeah. And let's keep fucking killing it. So.
All right.
He's I would say, one of my favorite Irish people next to Conor McGregor.
This was a pleasure.
Yes, sir.